morning, everyone. Thought I'd jump on here this morning and talk to you about goals and how to set them and how they relate to the values that you hold very closely to yourself. Now, this is a really good time of year to be actually thinking about goals for 2022. Because you're going to have a holiday of some sort, I imagine, some of you will anyway, over the Christmas period. And this might give you some time to actually focus on what you really want to achieve in the coming year, because it's important to set goals. If you don't set goals, you won't get anywhere. So let's have a look at what's on that next slide here. So James Clear, one of my favorite authors, he wrote Atomic Habits, and he said that the greatest threat to success is not failure, but boredom. So let's hold that with you as we go through this. Now, this is a nice little equation for you to have a look at. You've got your values, you've got your goals, then you've got your behavior, which is kind of important because behavior, in a way, reflects taking action. And lastly, you've got self-esteem. And of course, if you are doing behaviors that are taking actionable steps to the things that you want, then that is actually going to build your self-esteem. So, firstly, what is a goal? Well, a goal is a desired result that a person plans and commits to achieve. Now, I'm sure many of you will have set goals in the past, and I'm sure many of you will have achieved those as well. However, you know, how many of you have actually associated them with your values? Now, values are our desired qualities of physical or psychological action, and there's many values that you could explore here. They describe how we want to behave on an ongoing basis. They can be like a compass and provide us with direction and a guide for our life's journey. So they're really important for us to think about. And I have my business values up on the wall in front of me alongside my personal values. So 5 of each are really important for me. So when you're looking at values, we can do a little bit of a geeky, sciencey thing here. So advances in cognitive science provide an alternative, empirically, plausible account of the nature of values. So values are mental processes that are both cognitive and emotional. They combine cognitive representations such as concepts, goals, and beliefs with emotional attitudes that have positive or negative valence. So that's kind of like the real official perspective, as I would say. For example, values associated with life and death require the mental concept of what life and death are, and also the emotional attitudes that view life as positive and death as negative. However, not all of you will see death as negative. Some of you might see, as I do, that death is the natural progression or the ending of our life, the life cycle. Goal setting. Goal setting involves the development of an action plan designed to motivate and guide a person toward a goal. These can be either short-term or long-term. Now, looking at a short-term goal, that's something that is achieved quite quickly. And it might be as simple as finishing a crossword, washing the dishes, or even mailing your Christmas cards by today. They can often help you achieve your longer-term goals. So setting those short-term goals gives you your brain, that basic achievement mentality. Your brain loves to celebrate successes. So when you achieve short-term goals, your brain will go, well done, you've done that. So keep going. Long-term goals, now these might take you months, years, or maybe all your life to achieve. For example, things like becoming a nurse. That takes 3 years. Maybe losing extra weight. Maybe it's getting fit. Those are some of the examples here. Setting unrealistic goals can actually lead to feelings of failure, maybe lowered self-image, and lowered self-esteem. So it's important when you're looking at your goals that maybe you decide that you want to make them realistic rather than unrealistic. So goals that are unrealistic, maybe they're untimely, maybe they require unavailable resources, and maybe they are just too generally written. So the setting of an unrealistic goal is setting one that you know that you can't achieve in the time frame that you've set, or simply you don't have those resources available to actually do it at the time. Realistic goals, however, they are achievable, and you are able to feel the success of achieving them, which, as I said previously, is very important for our brains. So do you believe that you can achieve? Good question to ask yourself here. We need to learn how to dream. We need to learn to keep the dream alive to reach your goals. Some people don't decide or have a vision of what they want out of their life, i.e., that means having no goals. People with goals can see what they eventually want to achieve, and they can see just how to get there. Now, as I said, goals must be realistic. You can't lose 20 kgs in a month, actually, and I wouldn't want to do that. However, you must prioritize and rank in order of importance, because you can't accomplish everything all at once. Again, as I said, do you have the resources that you need to reach your goals? And those resources might be simple things like money. Because if you decide that you're going to join a gym in 2022, then you need to have the money to pay for that membership. Do you have the information required? Do you need to go searching and find things that will help you along your journey? Is your health okay? Are you, example is the gym. Is your health up to you going to the gym? Do you have the energy available to do that? Do you have the skills that you need to do that? So there are some things for you to think about when you are setting your goals. Now, here is the Wheel of Life, and this is a very useful tool for you to use as a way of finding where you may be lacking in areas of your whole life. Now, I'm focusing here on work, personal development, money, home, health, friends, romance, and life purpose. So what I'd like you to do is go away and fill in the appropriate scores for you at this very moment. And as you'll see, 0 is in the middle. So this is if you were to put 0, that's where you feel that you are on this continuum of not feeling like you're doing well in this area. And 10 is that you feel that you're doing very well in this area. So fill in the appropriate scores for you at this very moment. So go away and do that, and then you can come back. Welcome back. Good to have you here. So a little bit here on how important your values are. Now, if you're in my group coaching group, then you will have done your values in our first session together. It's important that you set goals in line with those values that you developed in our session. And if you haven't been in my group coaching session, then you need to go away and have a little think about what is really important to you. Now, take some time to reflect on this. And if you take a look at your wheel of life and the domains that you scored lower in, which of your most important values will come into play here? So, I'm going to take you through a 5-step process. So summarizing your values in each domain. So say in family, I value being open, honest, loving, and supporting in my family domain. So step 2. So you want to set an immediate goal within that so that you can achieve being all those things that you want to be in your family. Asking yourself, what's the smallest, easiest thing that I can do today that is consistent with this value? So using family as an example, is it that when my husband arrives home from work, that I will spend 5 minutes completely focused on him, asking him how his day was? And therefore, I am using my values of being open and engaged. So when setting goals, be specific, like I'll go swimming for 30 minutes twice a week and write it down. Also write where and when you will do it. So say you live in Te Awamutu, then you'll go to the Te Awamutu pools at a certain time, 30 minutes on a specific day, and write it down in a diary. Starting with small, easy goals allows you to defeat the "it's always too hard" voice. Little steps are much better than trying to take huge steps and then not actually getting to where you want to go. Step 3, set some very short-term goals. So say back to that swimming example, I am going to go to the swimming pool for 30 minutes twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays at 5:30 in the evenings, and I will do this for the next month. So you've set some short-term goals. What are the small things that I can do over the next few days and weeks that are consistent with my value? And here my value would be about improving my health, because I hold health as a very high value. Be specific. What actions will you take? When will I do these? Then you can go on to setting some medium range goals. Ask yourself what larger challenges I can set for the next few weeks and months that will take me in my value direction. So using the swimming example again, I really would like to compete in one of those open water events that are held in the sea. I think they're called the Banana Boat Series. And so they're quite, maybe a kilometre or more of swimming out in the sea, which to me would be quite a challenge. However, but because I've been going to the swimming pool for 30 minutes twice a week for a month, I can build on that and I can set myself the medium range goal of actually going and doing one of these events in March. If your value is about improving your health, which it is, then set a specific goal, like 3 nights per week. I will cook a healthy dinner using Claire Turnbull's recipes online. And that is another one for improving your health, is that you will eat well as a choice rather than just saying, oh yeah, I'm going to eat well now. It doesn't work like that. You have to be much more specific so that your brain gets used to the idea that you're going to use health basically as one of your main goal setting events. And then you can go and set some longer term goals. You know, what are the major challenges that I can set for the next few years? And maybe, you know, back to the swimming, that I will do more than one of those events. Maybe I will do all those open water swims in the series. And this is where you really dare to dream big. Now, where would you like to be in 5 years from now? And this is definitely something that I do within my business, is that I use visioning to actually decide where I want to take my business over the next 5 years. And a lot of those are really big, hairy, audacious goals, which is why there's this beautiful picture of this ape here. Now, this is something I've borrowed from Gretchen Rubin, and she has a manifesto, and a lot of people are putting out manifestos, and you can actually develop your own manifesto, and I do that with my group coaching clients. I ask them to set themselves some personal policies when they join up in my group coaching program. So what you want to ask yourself are some of these questions. You know, what we do every day matters more than what we do once in a while. Make it easy to do right and hard to go wrong. Focus on actions, not outcomes. By giving up something, we may gain. Things often get harder before they get easier. When we give more to ourselves, we can ask more from ourselves. We're not very different from other people, but those differences are very important. It's easier to change our surroundings than ourselves. We can't make people change, but when we change, others might change along with us. We should make sure the things we do to feel better don't make us feel worse. We manage what we monitor. And once we're ready to begin now. Take action. And that's one of the things that I really encourage all my clients to do. You won't get anywhere without taking action. Now, there's a little task that I want you to do. So I want you to go away and pause this video and write a long list of the goals that you think would be important and worthwhile for you to accomplish. And maybe it's even your dream list. Now have a look at the list and ask yourself the following questions. Does it fit with my values? Is it realistic? Is it flexible? Does it fit with all your other goals? Will the rewards be worth what you put into it? Is it what you want? So just pause this video for a while and go away and write this long list. Now this could take you probably maybe 20 minutes or more, because what you need to understand is when you're writing this list, for about the first 10 minutes, your brain is going to be just writing down the normal stuff, the things that you think you can achieve. And what I think after 10 minutes is that then you start to really explore more of what's in our unconscious brain. And so we want to really get into that area and explore those big dreams and things that you want to achieve. So, welcome back. Nice to have you back here. So just a little few slides before we finish up here. If you're not working to where you want to be, you're automatically working to where you don't want to be. Keep your most important values in mind at all times when you are making less important decisions. Don't sacrifice what matters most for something that doesn't matter that much to you. There are always going to be trade-offs, So just some little hints there. Now, I'm not sure how many of you will have come across SMART. And for me, working in healthcare for over 30 years, we worked with our clients around developing SMART goals to actually improve their overall health. Now, I've adapted it a little bit here. S still stands for being specific. We need our goals to be very specific. Now, the next step is written down, and that is so important. If it's not written down, it will never, ever get done. They need to be measurable. So you need to make sure that you can measure them so that you can say, you give yourself a big tick when you've actually achieved it. They need to be time framed. So you need to be really specific about your time and when you're going to achieve this goal by. You need to be read out frequently. Now, I read out my business goal every day, and I believe that that is the most important thing that I can do in my day. Posted visibly. So, how about actually writing it up so that it's visible to you every morning? And if you've got a big mirror in your bathroom, why don't you write it on there? Whiteboard pens will write on mirrors. So how about writing out your goal and putting it up on the mirror so that not only you see it, but maybe your family see it too. And then you've got their encouragement to help you along the way. So lastly, actually using WISE as an acronym. So exploring the what if, stating it in the positive, and really using visioning to see where you are at the end when you've achieved this goal. It's a wonderful thing to do, and certainly something that I really encourage my clients to do as well. Now, here's a little bit more about the what if. So I see goal setting as a creative activity, and asking yourself what if questions sometimes can lead to catastrophizing if it's attached to anxiety about what the future holds. However, when applied to considering potential impacts of a goal, the what ifs can facilitate enlightenment of what's possible, as well as potential speed bumps along the way. Now, here are some examples. So saying, what if I achieve my goal? I will gain, what will I gain? Sorry. What might I lose? What will the impact be on me, as well as family and friends? So exploring it in the future. So what if I do achieve my goal of an open water swim? I will be so impressed with myself, because I actually get quite fearful when I'm swimming in open water. Absolutely fine in a pool, but actually a little bit fearful when I'm swimming in open water. What if my goal isn't attained? What will I gain? What might I lose? What will the impact be on me, as well as my family and friends? So if I don't achieve my goal, who am I letting down? I'm really only letting down myself. Then what if I knew I'd reach my goal? What would be different then? So almost future visioning it to see. Looking into that future, I would be so happy with myself that I had actually got over my fear of open water swimming. So by stating it into a positive, in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, wording desires outcomes in the positive is a core element in goal setting. It involves using words that reflect what you want versus what you don't want. As an example, I want to travel to Europe next year versus I don't want to spend another holiday at home, because actually for the last couple of years, we have spent all our holidays at home. Now, why do we state in a positive wording? So here's an example that is quite common. Have you ever told yourself, I don't want to forget to pick up the shopping? So maybe you've done an online order and you drive past the supermarket and you've forgotten to pick it up. Or maybe it's your keys that you didn't want to forget and you did. And what you can do is actually reword these two examples as I must remember to pick up at the store, or I will remember my keys. I'm mindful in wording goals, and it can be as easy as replacing I don't want to fail at this goal with I want to achieve this goal. And just replied to a client of mine that's in my group coaching this morning, because she was talking about her personal policy of leaving her phone in the kitchen in the evenings to avoid scrolling through social media, which can be a very mind-numbing, buffering technique. And she said that she wanted to do some knitting or crocheting instead. And so I asked her to reframe the wording around how she was going to achieve that. And so by saying that I will be knitting and crocheting in the evenings, she will be able to use her brain to actually achieve this goal much more easily. So, envisioning, another huge important part of goal setting. This is where the dream of goal achievement comes to play. So what could your life look like once your goal is achieved? Using all your senses, ask yourself, when I achieve my goal, where will I be? What will it look like? What do I look like? What will I be doing or saying? And what will I be wearing? Who will be with me? What will they be doing or saying? And what sights, sounds, smells, taste will surround me? And how will I feel? And using my example of an open water swim, I know that I'll be standing on the edge of a beach, basically, because I will have just come out of the water. I will have a wetsuit on, and I know I can picture exactly what this beach would look like. And I will be slightly wet, I know, with swimming cap on. I will be high-fiving as I come out of the water. As I said, I'll be wearing my wetsuit. And who'll be with me? Well, my family will be there and they will be praising me and saying, oh, well done, you did awesome getting out there and doing that. And then the sights and smells, there'll be certain smells of the sea. I'll have a salty taste in my mouth because I will have been in the seawater. There might be sounds, I'd say there'll be a loudspeaker system. And yeah, the sights, there'll be a lot of people around me and they'll all be celebrating along with me. So that's how I would use envisioning to actually see what it looks like when I have completed my goal. So there's 3 types of people in the world, and here they are. Ones that make things happen, those that let it happen, and the ones that don't know what happened. So I'm going to ask you this question. Which one are you going to be? And I think I'm going to leave that with you, as well as this lovely quote by James Clear. I started the session with him and I'm going to end it with him. The secret to getting results that last is to never stop making improvements. It's remarkable what you can build if you just don't stop. So keep going, keep taking action. And hey, if you want to come and work with me, I can really help you achieve some amazing goals in your life. Thanks for sharing your time with me. I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, hope you have a beautiful day. See ya.